Hello there, and welcome to the Blue Zone. Thank you very much for dropping by this week. I hope you've had an excellent week. And yeah, this is the place where a passionate health and performance fanatic shares a snippet of data from a world class source and a little actionable point just ahead of your big Friday night. And now I want to thank everybody who sent me the positive messages this week and a bit of feedback. It was really valuable. If there's anything you want covered in future weeks, please do let me know. I'd love to dig into that, the areas of most interest. Now, last week I introduced the first of the three foundational pillars, sleep. This week I'll be introducing the second foundational pillar, which is movement. Now that title is picked very carefully. It's not exercise, it's not training, it's movement. And the data source is probably one of the most credible I've ever come across. You'll hear it quoted here a lot. It's Dan Buettner and his work on the Blue Zones, which I'll include in the comments. Now, for anybody that hasn't heard of the Blue Zones, Dan Buettner, what he did was essentially, I actually learned from him that the human body is designed to get about 92 years out of it. Of course, many people don't for many different reasons, but what he did was he assembled a team to cross-reference data such as birth certificates, etc., and ensure the accuracy, so he could identify where in the world there were the people living the longest, an abnormally amount of centurions in these places that he dubbed the Blue Zones. He then went there himself to live with these people and see what exactly are they doing every day, and then he reported back on his common findings. Now, how that relates to movement is in these places, people didn't exercise or train. They didn't have gyms, no routines, no supersets, no hit sessions, no Peloton. They had none of that stuff. They were just living their lives. Now, in some of these areas, it was a bit more rural, so they didn't have desk jobs, and their life, they didn't have the technology that we have, so their day was naturally a bit more manual. But what he observed was that was better in terms of health. It was better for you to do constant little movement throughout the entire day than to do 1 hour intense and then sit down and do close to nothing while you're commuting, while you're working, while you go back home and chill. It's much more effective, impactful, he found, from a health perspective. So what does that mean in terms of actionable points? In terms of the action points going forward, it's probably the simplest you ever get is just building a mindset of move as much as possible. I think, and I'm very much guilty of this as well, you can have that mentality of, I've gone and done my hour workout, I feel drained after that, now I'm going to spend the rest of the time doing as little as possible. It's the small things like, rather than take the lift or the escalator, take the stairs. Rather than look for the closest car parking spot, pick the furthest. Rather than asking someone else to go and get you something, go and get it yourself. Just changing that mindset of, rather than avoiding every opportunity to move, taking every single little opportunity to move, because it's much more valuable than you think. I hope this is helpful, and yeah, do let me know your feedback and how you get on. And yeah, thank you very much, and remember to stack the odds in your favor and feel good now.